In this quick tutorial, we're going to look at some printer management in Windows 10. So the first thing we're going to do is click in the search box and type printer. And you'll see printers and scanners. You can either click on this or over here on to the right, you'll see a large icon and you can click on it. And this will open up a list of your current printers. And if you're having print problems and you're printing to a printer and nothing is coming out, it could be because the printer is offline. And that's what this little window is here. So what can cause that is if you click on the printer, click on Open Queue, and then you might see a bunch of listed documents here. If you do and they're not printing, then go to Printer and look and see. Sure enough, see the little check mark here in front of Printer Offline? That means that you can print to it and nothing will print. It'll hold them in the print queue until you uncheck that box. Then now the printer is online. And a way to see if that printer is actually working is if you go to Manage, and then you'll see it's idle, which it should show, and then you'll see here print a test page. You click on that and it will send a page to the printer and you will see it in the print queue. I currently have my printer turned off, so I'm going to hit print a test page, and it says one document in the queue because the printer is turned off. So if I go back to the printer and I go to Open Queue, you will see it's there, and I don't have it, sure enough, it's not offline, set to offline, but it's not printing because I have my printer turned off. So I'm going to turn it to use offline, and then I'm going to turn my printer back on real quick. So my printer's booting up. And since I don't actually want to print this test page, I'm going to go up to Documents and I'm going to cancel it. And yes, I want to cancel it. And see, now my printer's come online. And now you see this printer dialog box saying my printer is offline because it's communicating with my printer. And so if I go to Printer and say Use Offline, to uncheck the offline, it now over here says my printer is online. That's the key. So, and not all printers have this little status box. As you can see, I need some printer stuff. I just got a new box from Amazon today with some new print cartridges I haven't had time to install. But now my printer's online, and if I was to print, it should print to it. So if you open up the print queue on a printer, you can see if there's any documents hanging. And if you want to print a test page, you click on Manage, and it should say idle, meaning that the computer is seeing the printer and the use offline isn't checked, and you can hit print a test page to see if it's if it prints correctly. That's the way to just test it at the lowest level. And if you can print a test page, then Windows can see your printer just fine. Now, I have installed an HP print driver that's not even plugged up to my computer, just so I could test some things. Let's see, there it is, and it says it's offline. And so if I go into Open Queue, because I have it turned offline, I'm going to turn it offline, online, and it does, if you go to Manage, it says idle, but there's not a physical printer. So the only way to really know that it's working, idle just means that Windows thinks it's available, is to print a test page. That's the best way to make sure the printer is working. Now, if you have a Canon, like I have a Canon that's a multifunction, fax, scan, everything, you will see you've got several Canons. You've got the fax, you can print a fax, you print that and it'll come up, ask for the phone number, and you can print. This is your standard printer. And then the WS is for web services. And what this one, if you pick this one, that is actually designed to allow, if you have a, because I have a wireless printer, it will allow an iPad or an Android device to actually print to the printer going through the web portal of this thing because it acts like a web server. So to recap, if you've got a printer and you want, I normally printed this one instead of the WS. So I open the queue, and if there's anything hanging there, I go to printer and make sure that it's not, if I'm going to check that there's not the little check mark in front of use offline. If it is, uncheck it, see if things start printing. Then if you want to print a test page, you click on the printer, you go to manage, and then you click on print a test page. And it will send a page to your printer that has some information about the printer. And if that prints correctly and looks good, then you know everything is set right. I hope you found this helpful.